Hello there, beautiful souls. Welcome back to our YouTube channel, The Circle of the Invisible Flame. Today, I will talk again about my favorite subject, love. But today we're talking about love without distortion. How to stay loving without losing yourself. Trust me, I'm still working on this one. I have been married for 40 years and we dated for 5 years prior to getting married. So we have been together as a couple for 45 years. And this is not easy, okay? But it's not impossible. I have talked, and we've talked a lot about love and patience and helping others grow. But no one really explains how to do that without distorting yourself in the process. And what do I mean by that is you stop being you. You compensate. So today I want to talk about love without distortion in relationships and in humanity as a whole. Love without distortion means that you do not mirror unconsciousness. You do not compensate for irresponsibility. You do not justify actions of others. And you do not abandon yourself to prove that you love. Love stays intact, but it is no longer bent out of shape. So what does this look like in relationships? In relationships, love without distortion looks very practical. You speak once, clearly, as teachers do. You stop reminding or fixing or buffering or rescuing or justifying. You let consequences teach what words no longer can. This doesn't mean you're cold or that you're angry. It simply is stated clearly. Love remains, but distortion ends. How exactly does this look like? I mean, are there examples of this? You mean the how? Okay, if someone is repeatedly late, you stop adjusting your body and your time. And if it still doesn't make sense, I'll give you an example because I tend to be mostly punctual. I like to arrive places earlier. I actually, if I'm going to a new place, I will go days prior to see where it is so that I am not surprised and I don't get lost, because I do get lost very easily. My husband is very rarely on time for anything. And so we do have an issue there. So what has happened is in the past, I would just stay there and wait. And then we both arrive late. And I'd have to justify or find an answer without throwing him under the bus as to why we are late. I, for a time now, have no longer done that. We both have cars. We both worked, So if he's not ready, and it's something that he usually does when I say, okay, ready to go, he goes, oh, wait, I have to take a quick shower. It's like, you know what? I'll meet you there. I pick up my keys, I go. When he's ready, he goes. And if he really absolutely gets embarrassed, he doesn't go at all. And if they ask me, what happened? I said, I don't know. He was getting ready when I left. Why don't you give him a call and find out? I will no longer justify for him. It's not being cold. It's just simply you're preserving your sanity. Okay. You still love. It's just you're no longer distorting yourself. I've seen this way too much, especially in couples from my parents' era. And before that, if they're still alive, depending on how young they married. Couples who lost their identity. As mostly the women were, sadly. But on occasion, there's been a man too. The other person absorbs them. Who they were is no longer who they became, because they were too busy absorbing and justifying for the other person. And sadly, the person you are so much justifying for doesn't see that. Because somewhere along the line, they will tell you, you're not the person I married. They fell in love with the you that was strong, with the you that kept her bearings and meant no when it was no and yes when it was yes. And then you started compensating for them. And now you're not the person they fell in love with. You did everything you could for them. And you've seen the result. So I'm not even going to go in more into it because that's a total other chat. So let's go back to this. So we said distortion ends. Mm-hmm. So if someone doesn't prepare, you stop over preparing for him or her. If someone avoids responsibility, you stop compensating. This is not punishment. This is alignment. And again, for those of you that have known me, and because this is the section on practical examples, you know that I told you that I took a trip to France with my daughter and my aunt by myself for, I don't remember if it was 15 or 21 days, but we were there for 3 weeks at least. And other trips where my husband will say, I'm not going. Okay, I'm going. No, I'm not going. And then at the last minute, he will say, okay, if you wait for me, I will go. And okay, yes, you could wait if it's a driving vacation. But if you're going to take a boat or an airplane, you can't do that. You have to be there a certain time. So what I have done, and it has worked for us, is again, he has a car. It's like, okay, let's go. Put your shoes on. Let's go. Oh, but my luggage isn't packed. You know what? If you really want to go, you will buy what you need along the way. Okay. And if not, then you stay. I leave without you. Yeah. And again, it's not punishment. It's alignment. And you're preserving your own sanity. Patience, because that takes a lot of patience, does not mean overriding your own body. When your body speaks, because you have tension, you have dryness, you have exhaustion, you have stress, it's signaling that love has begun to distort. Boundaries are not a failure to love. They are a correction of the distortion that you have begun. This is where humanity is now. We expect leaders, systems, partners, or saviors to compensate for what we refuse to practice. Love without distortion at the collective level means there are no rescuers. There's no outsourcing maturity. We need to change from the inside outward. And here's the most misunderstood point. Seeing someone's potential doesn't make you responsible for fulfilling it. Potential is only information. It's not obligation. You can honor that potential without destroying your life around it. So love without distortion means that you stay loving, you stay truthful, you stop rescuing outcomes. That is not abandonment. That is maturity. And it brings you a lot of peace. So, and trust me, your partner won't leave you. But I will leave you right now with lots of peace, love, and light. And lots of hope for a much better and beautiful future. I am Simera'Kai. Until our next chat.